Alright, hey, I'm gonna make a glitchless tutorial for you guys. There isn't one, so I'm gonna do my best to make one. I have my latest theory task here, and we're just gonna go through it. I'll point out important stuff along the way. Team up with Asuka. Then move over to Emmy and team with her. Clean the glass. Clear the text boxes. Go into this right door here. Use Kazuo's lighter. Wait until that spirit leaves. You don't want to get captured by that. For the weak board on the right, put that in Kazuo's first slot. And the weak board on this left side here, put that in Asuka's first slot. So for this room here, you don't want to take any more steps than you have to. And you'll see why in a second. When you get to this spot right here, stop and switch over to Taguchi. Or Taro if you're playing on the Gaijin translation. Team up with Akiko. And they're going to get into an encounter right here. What we're going to do now is we're going to have Taguchi and Akiko call Kazuo multiple times so they can skip some of these low XP enemies until we grab some good weapons, and we'll fight some better enemies with larger XP so we can get to level 4 as quick as we can. Getting Evil Doll, there's more of a risk of getting Taguchi and Akiko a status ailment. So if that usually happens, like, this is still the beginning of the run, so it doesn't matter, if I get a status ailment, maybe I'll reset. But if you don't feel like resetting, you can have Akiko heal Taguchi, or Taguchi heal Akiko with her med kit. So it's not too much of a big deal. So we're going to call Kazuo twice. That tonic goes in Kazuo's second slot. The candle goes in Emmy's second slot. Okay, let me point this out here too. So if you do this whole section pretty quick, I think there's like a 2 or 3 frame window to skip one of these 2 text boxes here. So you'll see right there, there's supposed to be another text box that pops up on this tile. So if you do it quick enough and you're in that 2 to 3 frame window, you can actually skip that text box. Now that's not considered a glitch because you're not using it to get to another area. In the Dynamo skip route, we do a similar thing, but we're skipping 10 minutes of the game. So that's that's definitely considered a major skip, so that's not allowed in the glitchless category. But it is allowed here because we're not really skipping anything other than the text box. Place that wood down here. Okay, so for this room with these bats, to play it safe, I go over 1 extra tile here to manipulate the bat. Okay, so when we go back to this battle here, we call Kazuo twice again. And you'll see that the bat doesn't touch us because we maneuvered around him. This weak wood right here, put that in Kazuo's first slot. We're going to take that sword, put that in Kazuo's weapon slot. And the hidden mallet, we're going to put that in Asuka's second slot. Going to use the board here. Board or wood, whatever. You get the idea, same thing. There's a strong board and a weak board, or a weak wood, whatever you want to call it. Right now, these are all the weak woods. We'll get a strong board in a little bit in one of the other rooms coming up. Put that rope in Asuka's first slot. Put that weak board in Emi's first slot. Put the log in Kazuo's first slot. Gonna use that board on this gap here. If we would have went back down over here, somebody would have got stuck because you can only step on them 5 times. But the strong board is, I think, 127. Okay, so when we come back here again, we're only going to call Kazuo once, and then use prey points to defeat the evil doll. Okay, so right here, we're going to swap the rope for this board here. We're going to need the rope a little bit later, but for now, let's leave it here. When we get to this dark room, we're going to use the candle. Now the spirits, we can walk through these spirits as long as we're in a call. If you're not in a call, make sure you walk around them. We're going to use the mallet here. The English translations call them mallets, but really it says hammer in katakana here, so it's just, I don't know why they didn't just translate it to hammer. Anyway. Pick up this board here. Switch back to Kazuo. Okay, when we get here, we're going to switch to Emi. Emi is going to use the wood that's in Asuka's inventory first. Then she's going to leave the team temporarily so she can pick up the club down there. And then she's going to team back up. Okay, something to note. The club is a pretty powerful weapon for Emi, at least for this stage of the game. And the weapon that Kazuo picked up earlier is also pretty good. Asuka doesn't have a weapon yet. So if we get into an encounter in this room, let's say it's the torso or the zombie, whatever you want to call it, depending on your translation. To defeat the zombie in this room, before Asuka gets her weapon, it'll be pray for Emi, pray for Asuka, and use the log for Kazuo. That'll take them out in one round. Okay, we're going to go around and open up this door here. Come down here. Now we're going to give this weapon to Asuka. Now these bats can be pretty annoying. You have to get through this section pretty quick to avoid them. Okay, here's a strong board. Now we're going to put that in Emi's first slot. Place it down here. And we're going to pick it back up. Okay, here's our first encounter. See what we use here. So we pray with Emi. We attack. See, now that Asuka picked up that weapon, we could just regular attack with Asuka and then use the log with Kazuo. And now we're at level 2. Place the strong board down here. Place that flashlight in Asuka's first slot. To manipulate the bats so you don't get into an encounter with them, go up, and then once that boulder comes through, then you just head to the left. And if you're lucky, you'll avoid the bats. I mean, if you get into an encounter with the bats, it's not the end of the world. It's just that it's best to avoid them because they don't give as much XP as the zombies or the skull enemies. Okay, we're gonna take that board with us. Okay, so now that we were at level 2, we could just do attack, attack, and then log for these zombies here. Now we're at level 3. Use the flashlight on the shadow barrier. There's some glass there, clean that up. And we're gonna swap the flashlight for the tonic up there. Clean this glass here. And open up this door. Okay, in this room here, depending on your level and what other enemies that you got before this, how much XP you have, you may have to get into a few encounters to get to level 4. So the best enemy in this area to get would be the Mad Dogs. They give the most XP in this room. So you would just have to pray, use a mallet, and then pray, and you can one-shot them. If you get those grave zombies, or risen as they're called in the 2016 translation, use the strongboard, attack, and either pray, or you can use the log as well. So what I've been doing lately is using both the strongboard, the log, and then just regular attack, and you should be able to get them no problem. Alright, so we're going to go into this room here. Don't worry about the fire, it's not going to do too much damage. And also, we're going to use a tonic here anyway. And we need to pray for this puzzle here to get the spear. 7 is the minimum amount needed to get the spear. I swapped the spear for the candle, as we're not going to need it anymore. Like I said before, if you're not level 4 yet, you're going to have to do a little bit of grinding in this area here. We're going to look at the knight statue here, place the spear, and we have to use exactly 12 spray points for this puzzle. Okay, so the fastest way to get through this part is to do a call. Have Akiko or Taguchi call. We're just going to do one call, and then pray to defeat the enemy. Pick up the gas container and the mallet. So we're going to have 2 mallets in our inventory. And that's for a specific reason. Clear the path there. Okay, so there's the generator in this room. I know it's dark, you can't really see it, but once that text box comes up, you'll know that you're next to the generator. Use the gas, and then look at it, and turn it on. Put that rope in Asuka's first slot. If you get into extra encounters in that area, it's not the end of the world. If you get into an encounter with the Mad Dog, you can now use 2 mallets. So it would be mallet, mallet, attack. And same thing for the grave or risen zombies, you can just use the strong board, attack, and then log for them. I do another call here because we want to minimize our encounters in this area. So we're going to do a few calls, well, 2 calls. Yeah, so call Emmy twice. And we're going to get to the room with the knights as fast as possible. Swap the strong board for the rope. So in your inventory right now, you should have Emmy should have rope and mallet, Asuka should have rope and a mallet, and Kazuo with the log and the other tonic. After the call is done, we can defeat the evil doll or try to run away. I think it's if you try to run away, you may get a status ailment if you can't run away, but so it's easier just to do pray to end the battle there. We're gonna open up this door here. Okay, so for these armors, Emmy's gonna use her rope, Asuka's gonna use her rope, and then Kazuo's gonna regular attack. So now you know why we have 2 ropes. It's a lot easier. We're gonna use that tonic here and then pick up this one. We're just gonna fight one of the armors. It's faster. Use the rope here. Now there's an argument to be made whether you take the left path and skip the weapon we're about to get, or go in there and get Emmy a stronger weapon. So I mean, I think in my recent PB I went left and I skipped that whole section we're about to do. But Emmy's not as strong if you do it that way. So it's best to come in here. Be careful with the sticky floors. You can only make 4 consecutive steps on them, so don't get stuck. So we're gonna pick this up, give that to Emmy, swap it with the club that we had earlier. If we get man, we'll just pray 3 times. And we should be able to one-round them. And now if you get the dog, again, you could just use both your mallets, you still have them. But if you get wall face has a very high chance of giving you status ailment, and it's a reset if you get one from him. But yeah, wall face is bad news. And if you get him, you could try to pray, but you're usually going to have to do 2 rounds at least with wall face. So that's why it's a high chance of getting a status ailment. Okay, we go down and swap the mallet for this ice pick. Now, we're not using the ice pick right now, and we're not going to actually use this particular one. We're strategically leaving the mallet here for later. And there's a quick time event that we're skipping by walking down. I think if you walk on these tiles here, you'll trigger it, so we walk around it. Okay, now we're going to swap that ice pick we just picked up and swap it for the fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher can be used against... What the hell do they call them? Oh, they're either called Bane or Wraith. Which is confusing because Wraith in the other translation is the other enemy in the basement, so... Yeah. So anyway, if you get... This is Bane here. I'm just going to call him Bane because I like that name better for this enemy. And I like Wraith better for the other enemy in the basement that we will see in a little bit. So yeah, if we get him, we'll use the fire extinguisher, pray, and then pray. And again, for these armors, just use both of your ropes. Careful with the sticky floors. This sword down here, give that to Asuka. And that axe that's up there, we're going to give that to Kazuo once we get there. We're going to swap Emmy's rope here for the rope ladder. The rope ladder can also be used against the armors. And we're going to swap Asuka's rope for that tonic there. We want to skip that knight up there and just get into a fight with this knight here, so it saves us a little bit of time. So we use the rope ladder, attack, attack. And that's fine there. Don't forget to avoid that quick time event. So yeah, by this point, since we leveled up, we could just pray, attack, attack for the man. Use the rope ladder here. Gonna use this tonic because we're getting into some stronger enemies coming up. And we want to refill our prayer points. So pray, pray, pray when you see these guys. We're going to have to 2-round them. And on the second round, we can just regular attack with everyone. Okay, let's go up here, fight. This is a forced battle. We have to fight with this mirror. This is going to be a pray, mallet pray. Use the mallet to open that path. And we're going to look at the fountain. Look at it twice to have the blood come out of it. Swap the fire extinguisher for the log up there. Okay, we don't need this mallet anymore, so we're going to swap the tonic for that mallet. Put that in Asuka's inventory there. And then also put the bucket in Asuka's first slot. We're going to look at the fountain again and fill up the bucket with the blood. Okay, when we get here, we're going to switch to Asuka temporarily. So she's in front. Use the bucket on the statue. and replace the bucket for this log. So we should have 3 logs in our inventory now. We're going to swap the tonic for the pills. In Emmy's empty first slot, we're going to pick up the pipe. When we get here, we're going to switch to Kazuo now. Now Kazuo needs to be in front. We're gonna send him off on his own to pick up the shovel and do the puzzle with the low key and all that. We're going to use the tonic that's in Kazuo's inventory and then pick up the axe. Now that axe isn't a weapon, it's an item. It's used to clear the branches or whatever you want to call them that's in our way. Yeah, these wood over here. So we use the axe on those things. So the best enemy to get in this area is going to be, look, these guys here. So you want to do pray, pipe, and attack. Use the log there. Use the log there. If you get, there's another, one of the, like the big green looking zombie, or ghoul, I forget what his name is. If you get him, you usually can't beat them in one round, so usually I'll pray 3 times and then attack. Or you may have to use more pray on the second round too. Okay, we're gonna have Kazuo take a boat. We don't need that axe anymore, so we're gonna swap the axe for the shovel. And if anybody has any specific questions, maybe I missed something or maybe I'm going too fast, just leave them in the comments and I'll answer it. Okay, we're gonna look first, then we're gonna use the shovel, and then we're gonna pray. We need to do a high amount of pray here. I think it's 28 or 20, I think 28 might be the minimum, but try to do max. I did 29 here. And we're gonna look again until the low key is revealed. Put that in Kazuo's first slot. Now you should be, I believe, level 7 before that puzzle. So if you're not level 7 yet, you're going to have to get into some encounters before you can even do that puzzle. Put that tonic back in Emmy's second slot. Okay, now Kazuo's going to go by himself for a little bit and walk with Yamamura. This is just a bunch of text, and just follow him and just clear all the text boxes. Can't really do this part any faster, unfortunately. Okay, switch to Asuka. Team back up with Emmy, so it's just gonna be the 2 girls walking by themselves for a little bit. but they should be strong enough for any of these enemies here. Pray and then pipe. Push that statue into this fountain here. And you're going to pick up the amulet, or the tool if you're using Gaijin translation. Go here to pick up the bow. I swap it with the pipe. Okay, so now that we have the amulet, or the tool, we can use that as a weapon. So we can use it along with Prey to take these guys out. And again, if you get the other zombie, you're probably gonna have to two round them. I would probably do Prey for the first round, and then Amulet. You could try Amulet regular attack or Amulet Prey, and you should be good. Use the amulet there to open up the entrance to the basement. Team back up with Kazuo and use our tonic here. Alright, so here's where the game gets really hard. This is probably the hardest area in the whole game because of the Wraith enemy, or if you're playing on the 2016 version, they're called Reapers. And they have this ability to blow, they call it blow wind. So they'll blow one of your characters, or all three of them, to different parts of the mansion. And if that happens, it's a reset. So usually what I'll do is when I get to this area, I'll do some safety saves. It takes some time, you know, it costs time to do that, but if you don't want to reset from the beginning of the whole game, it's best to do it. Put that weak board in Emmy's second slot. Now later on, we're going to have to do a little bit of inventory management, juggling around and rearranging or whatever, but we'll get there when we get there. Alright, so here's our Reaper, our Wraith or Reaper. So pray, high, we gotta do high pray points here. And we're not gonna one round them. It's impossible at the level we're at right now. So there, I did pray for the first round. Amulet, then pray, and then attack. So let's actually look at that one more time. Pray. Tool, pray, attack. Okay, before we talk to this guy here, we're going to quickly swap Asuka and Kazuo's weapons, because we're about to pick up another one that's a little bit stronger for this area. And then we go talk to him. So we're giving him the shovel so he can put out the fire in the basement with the water. But what that does, it splits all three of our characters up. So we're still in control of Asuka. So Asuka's going to move down a bit towards the door. And we're going to switch over to Emmy. Emmy's going to open up this door here. And then team up with Asuka, and then we'll go in. Now again, sometimes I'll do another safety save before coming in this room, because we're going to get some more Reapers and Wraiths. Yeah, there's a 3-rounder here. So I did pray on the first round, pray second round, and then tool attack on the third round. Yeah. Those guys are difficult. Okay, now that we have the gem, we'll put that gem in Emmy's second slot there. The gem can be used as a weapon. So if we get into another encounter with a Wraith, we can have 2 rounds where we use the gem and the tool, and that'll take them out. I think we might see that here. Okay, so for that weapon, we're going to give that to Asuka. So swap whatever she has with that, which was the axe. Okay. So we'll see here how we get rid of these wraiths. Yeah, so gem, tool, gem, tool. Or was that... Wait, did I do attack on that second one? Yeah, okay. So yeah, so gem, tool, gem, attack. And they leveled up. Team back up. Pick up that tonic there. Use the gem to clear the blue flame. And then use the low key to open up this door. Keep going here, clear the text boxes. Be careful with the spirit here. Use the low key on this door here. Okay, if we get a skeleton, gem, pray, and we can 1-round them. Okay, this part is pure RNG. I usually try going for this left coffin here first. If it's not there, then I'll usually try one of the middle 2. But it's just a guessing game. I actually don't know if there's a real way to tell. So since this is a task, I got it the first try. But yeah, so there's the diary key. We're going to use the tonic we just picked up, refill our health and our prey, put that diary key in Kazuo's second slot. Gem, pray for the skeletons. Open up that door, and we're gonna go to the next section. Gonna go back into the sticky room here. Swap the tool or the amulet for the pick. And we're going to open up the diary with the diary key we just got, but we're not going to put it in our inventory. We're going to leave these 2 items in this room for later. Strategically, we're leaving them here. And remember the mallet that we left there earlier, we're going to pick that up too. So by this point, you're really strong. We could just use the gem and regular attack, get rid of those guys. Pick that up, put that in Kazuo's second slot. Avoid that quick time event there. Okay, so now we can move these statues. We're gonna move this second statue here. Don't move this one because then you're gonna block the stump that you used the bow on. Okay, so now that we're here, we're going to give that knife to Kazuo. We're going to give that sword to Emmy. And then use the low key on this door. Use the mallet on this wall here to create that path. Okay, so once we get into this area, we want to get into as many encounters as we can because we need to get to level 13 as fast as we can. So the more enemies we get here, the better it's going to be. So we're going to use our gem and full prey with the other two. And we're not going to one round these guys just yet, so use our gem again and then attack. Okay, so for any of these quick time events that we can't skip, the fastest way to do is to pray a minimum, like the least amount you can, because you don't want to waste your pray points on this, but praying is faster than any of the other choices. So we want to use minimum pray, and it's fast. So gem, pray. Now remember, we have the pills with us, so if we do get a status ailment from these guys, we should be good. And we can use the pills. The skeletons and the stronger versions of the armors are in this room as well. So it'll be the same thing. We can use our gem and then pray. Okay, for right here, there is a hidden pulley. So what we're going to do is temporarily swap the bow for the pulley. And then we're going to swap the low key for the bow. We don't need the low key anymore, so this is how we rearrange our inventory. So Emmy should have the pulley, the gem. Asuka have the pick and the pills. Kazuo should have the bow and the mallet. Okay, so once we have the pulley, we're going to use the pulley so we can run a little bit faster. Gem, pray. Gem, attack. Open up this door. We're not going to go in just yet. We're going to grab another weapon and a tonic over there. Give that to Asuka. Gem, pray. We're starting to run out of pray a little bit, so that's why you see I'm doing like half pray there, not full, because we are running out. Okay, we don't need the mallet anymore, so we swap that for the tonic that we just saw. Okay, since Emmy still has a lot of prey left, but Asuka and Kazuo don't, we have to switch around some of our items. So Emmy can use her prey, and Asuka can use the gem. So we're swapping the pick for the gem for now. Once we get here, we're going to use the bow to get across. And then we're going to swap the bow for the blue candle. We're going to use the pick. Don't forget to engage the pick, because if we don't, we'll slip on the ice and everybody's going to fall, and it's not good. Once we get onto this area here, we can re-engage the pulley. This is the grind area until level 13. So we have to stay here until we reach level 13. The only enemy that spawns here are those upside down zombies. the blue candle we just picked up can be a weapon against them. So gem, blue candle, and prey. And whoever has the most prey will use the prey points. If somebody else is running out, give them one of the either the blue candle or the gem in their inventory. So we're gonna have to do some item swapping around during this grind here. So you'll see prey, gem, blue candle. So yeah, this is one of 2 times where we need to grind. This game isn't very grindy, fortunately. Okay, so there, Emmy's starting to run out of prey. So we had to 2-round the zombie that time. Okay, so once Emmy runs out, we gotta use the tonic to refill our prey and our health. I'm also going to do a little bit of item rearrangements here. I give Emmy back the gem. I also put the gem in her first slot and put the pulley in her second slot, just so it's easier to choose during the battle. And then I also swap the pick and the blue candle. So this way, we can use the gem first, blue candle second, and then Kazuo can use his prey. And then continue the grind until 13. And it's okay if your inventory looks a little bit different. You can always rearrange it. It's not a big deal if you need to take a few seconds to swap some things around. Because sometimes your party order might not be the same. Some things might be different. If you get a status ailment, your party order is going to split up, and it's not always going to be perfect like here in this theory task. And even then, the theory task, this is not even a perfect theory task either. But it's pretty close. I think we're almost at level 13. Here we go. Open up that door. Now we still want to get into some encounters here, because we need to get to level 14 so we can do the projector puzzle. So on the way through this area here, or we'll get some XP towards leveling up to 14. Again, these quick time events, just use minimum prey for fastest results. Alright, get through this room here. Gem attack prey should get rid of these guys. Pick up that tonic, put it in Kazuo's second slot, or whoever has empty inventory. Clear that glass. I swapped the pick for the blue candle. So I put the pick in Asuka's inventory and the blue candle in Kazuo's inventory. That's going to be useful for in a little bit, because Asuka's going to be the one to go into Lady Mamiya's bedroom, and she's going to have the 2 rings in her inventory. So pretty soon we're not going to be using the pick anymore, and she's going to swap the pick for one of the rings. So that's why I'm using this time here to swap. Again, just doing a little bit of inventory management. Gem prey blue candle. Okay, use the tonic. Put the 2 keys or twin keys in your inventory there. Purposely get captured by these spirits. Okay, then Emi's going to team back up with everyone. Get into a few more encounters on the way to the next section. Okay, we're gonna go up here. Try to avoid these guys for now. If you can. Straight to this room here. Now this is an ice room, so we gotta engage our pick before we move all the way down. We don't want to slip on the ice. We can re-engage our pulley here. And enter here. There's some more Yamamura text here that we need to clear before we can move forward. Swap the pills for the ring. Now, from here on out, we're not going to have the pills anymore, so we got to be careful not to get status ailments. So you may want to do some safety saves. Swap that axe. We'll put that in Kazuo's inventory there. Don't forget to re-engage the pick temporarily while we walk out, and then re-engage the pulley once more once we're here. And yeah, like I said, maybe do a safety save once coming out of here in case somebody gives you a status ailment. So we can still do Gem, Prey, Blue Candle. There's another quick time event we can't avoid. I purposely get into an encounter here. The Knight. Yeah, Gem, Attack, Prey will be fine. But here's the, I call it the rats and cats room, or cat and mouse room, whatever you want to call it. This room is pure RNG. Even in a task, it's hard to manipulate this. So, what you want to do here is, as fast as you can, get to the blue candle and swap it with the gem. We're not going to need it anymore. And then we need to get to those steps there. And like I was saying earlier, we want to make sure that Asuka has both rings in her inventory. So swap that for the pick. And try to get out of here as fast as you can. Yeah, it's just a little slow there. We're going to drop off the 2 blue candles we have in our inventory after this fight. We can use 2 blue candles on this guy here. Okay, so drop off 1 blue candle, 2 blue candles, and then leave. we could fight this knight on the way. Because remember, like I said before, we still have to get to level 14. So Prey attack should take these guys out. So we just got level 14 there. Now, if you're not level 14 by the time you get here, don't worry. There's another area where you can do a little bit of grinding to level 14. So because Asuka has the rings in her inventory, right here, we switch to her. Okay, for this puzzle, all we need to do is show the guard just the first ring in our inventory here. And then use, I think it's a minimum, yeah, minimum of 46 Prey to complete that puzzle. Now here's a bunch of unskippable text from Yamamura. R.I.P. Okay, make sure Asuka leaves the team. If you walk down another tile, all three of them are going to be sent out, and that's pretty much a reset there. Or it's going to take you a long time to get back to this area. So, Asuka's going to go by herself, trigger this Lady Mamiya cutscene here. Switch back to Emmy. There's a hidden dress that's on this bed here. Give that to Emmy. What the dress does is it refills your Prey points. So now we could just pray, it doesn't even matter. We have the dress, we can just use max Prey for everything if you want. Give that gold key to Kazuo. Use the gold key on this door to get out. Okay, now here, sometimes I've gotten to a status ailment right here. It's always good to do a safety save before coming out of this room. Just in case. Because remember, it's only Emmy and Kazuo here, not all three of them. So there's a slight chance you may get a status ailment. I've lost a couple runs over there, and it's not fun. Because this is already 40 minutes into the run, and having a reset is not good. So use our gold key on that door. Let's meet back up with Asuka. Go here. Put the slide in Asuka's empty slot there. Now, this is the room here I was saying before. If you're not level 14 yet, you may want to do a few battles here to get to level 14 before we move on. Because the slide puzzle is coming up next. Or projector puzzle, whatever. So yeah, max Prey with these ghosts. Glitches, I think they're called. Okay, so we're going to use the dress to refill our Prey. And then we're going to swap it for the strong board that we left there earlier. We're going to head all the way back to the right into one of the areas we were at earlier. You can use Akiko or Taguchi to call. I do 2 calls there. and open up this door we couldn't get into earlier on in the game with the gold key. Put that slide in the empty slot there. Do one more call and then pray. Use the strong board here. It's another forced QuickTime event. Use minimum pray. Come down here and move the statues. Switch back to Emmy. Put the last slide in her inventory slot. Gonna use the gold key on this door. Okay, place all 3 slides down. This puzzle's a bit tricky. You have to land really high prey points on this. Minimum is 72. Just do 2 praise and attack for these guys now. Give that sword to Kazuo. Use the 2 keys on that door. Here we're going to pick up the iron key. Give that to Emmy. We could do another call here, just to bypass some of these low XP enemies. Just do 1 call for Kazuo. Switch back to Emmy. Pick up the dress and swap it with the gold key. We don't need it anymore. So, pray for the liches. Use the iron key there. Use the 2 keys there. Give the blue candle to Asuka. Give both the blue candle and the photo to Asuka. Use iron key there. Swap the 2 keys for the rope in Kazuo's inventory. Give the pitchfork to Asuka. Have Emmy go solo and go here. And have the 2 of them come out here. I mean, if you're unlucky, you may get into an encounter in the other room. If so, you could do max prey with the 2 of them. You may have to 2-round an enemy, but Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, so ideally you want to be around here when you get into an encounter with Asuka and Kazuo here. I'm going to do one call for Emmy, and then attack. You probably could do a safety save before then in case Kazuo and Asuka get into a fight by themselves in this area. Give the mallet to Emmy, swap it with the iron key. And then we begin our grind for level 16. I'll swap the mallet for the coffin. Pretty sure when you once you reach level 15, you could do pray attack. If you want to play it safe, you could just do pray for everything. But you may save a little time if you do pray attack. And if you're running out of prey, just use the dress to refill. Okay, there's our level 16. Temporarily swap that, or swap the coffin for the tonic. We're gonna go back and pick up the diary and amulet. So we don't need the dress anymore. So swap the dress for the diary. Use the tonic. And then put the amulet in Emmy's first slot. We could do one more call so we could bypass enemies in this section here. Just do one call. We don't need the rope anymore, so we could swap the rope for the coffin. So here's what our inventory should look like. Emmy has the amulet or tool and the pulley. Asuka has the photo and the blue candle. Kazuo has the diary and the coffin. So we're going to look here, place our last blue candle, use Kazuo's lighter to light them, and I believe the minimum prey here is 82. So that's pretty much max prey. You gotta basically use your max prey to get 82. And then head in here. Okay, usually when I get around here, I will do a safety save because the spirits in this area are very annoying. I mean, this is a task, so I'm kind of doing some tricks to maneuver around them. But yeah, you want to play it a little bit safe here and not get captured. So for these doppelganger spirit enemies here, I use max prey for all of them. I don't think I'd be able to do that in a real RTA run, how I just maneuvered around like that. Yeah, I'm using all max prey. Alright, we're at Lady Mamiya. So the first phase of this fight is you have to wait till the right dialogue appears for you to use the amulet and the photo. Okay, so instead of attacking for this first round here, I press leave or run. So you try to run away here. I mean, you don't actually run away. Lady Mamiya doesn't let you, but it's faster to have them try to run than to attack. Okay, so this is the dialogue you want to see to use the amulet and the photo. I think in English it says like you're all gonna die or some shit like that. It's been a while since I ran the English version, so I kind of forgot what it says there. Let's go back. So once you see this dialogue here, Emmy will use the amulet, Asuka will use her photo, and Kazuo will leave. Okay, when you see this right here, this is to pray. Emmy will use minimum prey points for that, and you can attack with the other two. That'll bring us to phase 2. Now for this phase, you have to do a certain amount of damage in order to trigger the next event. So attack, attack, attack. Attack, attack, attack again. Attack, attack, attack again. And then attack, attack, diary. There's a chance you may not have still done enough damage there, so if the screen doesn't flash when you use the diary, that means that you need to do more damage to Lady Mamiya before you can use the diary. So you may have to go another round. Okay, when you see this, just have everybody use max prey. Okay, here you still have to do some more damage here, so we're gonna do some more attacking. Attack, attack, attack. And then attack, attack, coffin. Now again, like I said before when trying to use the diary, if you don't do enough damage, you'll probably have to do another round where you're attacking. Try using the coffin again if you don't do enough damage. This is the final thing. You want to just use max prey with Emmy and attack with the other two, and that's it. That's the game. there you go. That's Sweet Home Glitchless. It's really all just about memorization and just getting lucky. That's really it. There's a lot of enemies that can give you status ailments, and some things can happen that could screw up your game. But yeah, if you do a couple safety saves here and there, you should be fine. And even if you don't get the exact same enemies that I got in this run, it's still not too different to maneuver around and fight those enemies. But yeah, any questions about any certain parts, just leave them in the comments. Hit me up, and I'll answer those. Thank you guys. Want to see some more people run this game.